What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass, like and subscribe. So, a little different topic today. It does involve video games, but it's not about the console war per se. It's about the shenanigans that are going on over at Unity. Now, as me, I am part of a indie dev team, and this has literally affected us because we had a meeting last night actually about this, and we were going to use Unity to migrate from the super bespoke JavaScript engine that we're using now. We're going to go over to Unity because our programmer Rafa, shout out to Rafa, he's a wizard at Unity. And at Java, and there's a couple of different languages too, and so John Riccatello, it's the CEO over at Unity, decided in his brilliance to charge devs for every install of their launcher or whatever, their Unity backend stuff, And I'm like, what? I'm like, how? Aren't you getting the points off of the revenue? Aren't you getting revenue share? Why do you need this too? And so I guess the thinking is let's make all the money in the world. Also, that way, if they try to pirate it, we still get money from that. I'm like, that's just me right now trying to, think it through or whatever to rationalize it. But what they have done to themselves, maybe they'll backtrack. Maybe they'll just say, oh, never mind, we're just joking. April Fool in September or something. But as it stands, no, they're not. And guess what? We're not using it anymore. We're not using Unity anymore. And so many other indie devs are not using Unity anymore. And even the worst part about it is that they are retroactively charging people for the install. So if you have a Unity game that has sold 10 million units, 10 million installs, so that's times, I don't know, a couple of pennies or whatever. Like if it's over a certain amount, then it's less, obviously. So it's so dumb. I'm like, oh, it's so dumb. And then somebody asked, well, wait a second, we're on Game Pass. So if it's on Game Pass, how does that work? What, retroactively? It's like, oh no, that. If you're on Game Pass, then Microsoft pays that. I'm like, well, huh? Did Microsoft know this? Because it didn't sound like, I haven't heard anything from Microsoft yet, so I don't know what's going to happen with that. But yeah, I think Unity is done. As this stands, if this continues or whatever, Unity is done. And also, we were looking, Rafa was talking about Godot, I guess that's how you say it, Godot. That's an engine for games. And I was unaware of how capable it was in 3D stuff. I mean, it's not a 3D engine like Unreal or anything. And I know you guys ask, why don't you go with Unreal? Because everybody's using it. And I'm like, sure, but it's not friendly to what we're trying to do. Our art style, our type of games. We need something that is a little bit more friendly, and Godot is. Although we use Spine as an animation tool, and Unreal uses that as well, but Unreal is a specific engine. And if the one thing I don't like about Unreal Engine is that all the games start looking the same. You look at certain things. It happened last gen too. I think it was Unreal 3 or 4. I can't remember which one. But you always saw the shader pop in. And I'm like, and I mean, that's not really happening now, this gen with Unreal 5, but there are similarities because a lot of people don't go in and tweak Unreal enough to make it their own. They'll just use a lot of the preset stuff. I mean, not the preset art, obviously. They have their own artists and own model builders, but like the lighting, the lumen system, and the Niagara particle system and all those things, it's a tool. It's part of the tool set of Unreal, and if you use it in one game, and you see it in another game, you may subliminally say, oh, it's kind of the same. And so in that respect, I think it's limiting. It feels like it is limiting because it's Unreal is set up in a way, and they're showing it in a way that, look, this is what you can do. And in doing that, people will try to replicate it or say, oh, our game's gonna be kind of like that. Yeah, we can do that. And then you go to the asset store and buy all the trees and the bushes, the same trees and bushes they used, and it's gonna look the same. You know, I think that's one problem. I mean, that's not every case, because you look at Hi-Fi Rush. If they didn't say that that was an Unreal Engine game, I would have never known that that was an Unreal Engine game, because it's super optimized. There's no issues with shader compilation, this and that, no stuttering, no pop-ins, probably because I don't think there are textures. I mean, there probably are textures, but if it pops in, you can't tell because it's cell shaded, so it's like one color. So, you know. But yeah, I don't. This guy, John Riccatello. I mean, because if you guys don't know, a little backstory. John Riccatello used to be the CEO of EA, and he was the guy who was introducing the microtransactions, the loot boxes and stuff. I think it was in Star Wars Battlefront 2. I can't remember which one, and now he's at Unity pulling the same stuff. Not the same, it's different, creatively different ways of trying to get all the money. But come on, man, you don't do that. You don't mess with devs. You already have your rev. If they would have just increased the revenue, the percentage, that would have been evil, but it would be less worse. And they could have done it in a way that it's like, oh, it's the same amount that they're trying to charge here. But I think, like I said, I think the thinking was that they can get all the pirated copies because you have to install it. And that install is the charge. So, which kind of makes sense when you talk it through, but when you're charging the devs, no. Because it's like, you can't make a free-to-play game on Unity because they're charging you for every install. So how are you supposed to, like, what is this? If you're ad supported, all your ad money goes to the install charges, right? I don't know how much it would be, depending on how big the game is. But yeah, it's and that whole retroactive, that's the most egregious thing, I think. It's like, why would you I don't understand these companies that are actively and effectively harming the dev community. Sony and now Unity. Sony charging for crossplay. Like, what are you doing? Don't you want more people to play and to constantly play your game? Concurrent players. I know ponies and duck and unicorns have a problem with that word, concurrent, but it's a word that is very important. And it helps bolster sales in other ways. If everybody's playing your game, some of them will buy stuff in your game. Just have something for them to buy. But if you're gonna, Sony charge for, like, why? Oh, because they lost revenue because if they're playing over there and they're not shopping in our store. Like, y'all are full of shite. Y'all just want to charge. Devs, why would you charge devs? Oh man, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad that don't even put your stuff on Sony. And don't even use Unity because you're gonna get screwed. And I don't think they're gonna change it. I mean, maybe they will when they see everyone go away from Unity, but that whole retroactive thing is gonna guarantee that they will get something for all, like Ori, Will and the Wisp, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, and Ori and the Forgotten Forest. What the hell is the first one called? The Lonely Forest, the whatever the forest was, the Windy Forest, I don't know. But the Ori games, those were done on Unity, and they sold millions, I would say, combined. And so they're trying to get paid off of that stuff. And I know Microsoft probably isn't happy about that. And so now Moon Studio, who's probably using Unity right now to make their next game, is probably like, they're probably gonna talk to Microsoft, see what's up. If they're gonna do another exclusive, if they're gonna do independent, then it's even worse. Then they'd be like, well, I guess we're gonna delay our game for 2 years while we throw it to Godot, or Godot, whatever it's called. I don't know how to pronounce it. But yeah, it's ridiculous. And this is the business sides of this is where business interferes with creativity. This is where I have a problem with businesses and the decisions that some of these CEOs that aren't creative, like Jim Ryan, like John Riccitiello, that just do business, that are just in there to make money for the shareholders. They're messing with the industry that we love. And in this respect, it's not they're messing with the devs in a big way, you know. And luckily, the timing for us is that, you know, we were in transition for another engine anyway, so this was perfect timing. So we were like, okay, thanks for making the decision for us, Johnny boy. See you later. Not gonna see you later. We'll watch you as your company evaporates into dirt and dust, because everyone will leave Unity. Everyone will leave Unity. You'll get your retroactive dollars. That's all you're gonna get. Because I'm gonna be real. We were looking at chats and everybody was like, well, good night. Here we go. Unreal, here we go. Everybody's moving. So you just messed up yourself. And there are even YouTubers out there like, yeah, I use Unity to make these little, you know, just like prototyping little stuff. Don't even do that. You might get charged for just opening the, you might get charged for using the program. Like, yeah, we're gonna charge you every time you start the app up, open the app on your computer, we can charge you. And they're like, oh yeah, the way that we're gonna monitor the installs of the loader or whatever is a algorithmic AI something. I'm like, y'all are so, oh man, y'all are saying all the wrong things. And I'm like, look, you know what? We were fortunate because we're not, you know, knee deep in a project in Unity. So thank you for that. Also, we're fortunate that we have a super wizard coder man named Rafa, and he's a wizard. He's a wizard. He'd be like, I can do that. Oh, let me fix that real quick. I'm like, how? And then he shows the code page. I'm like, I don't know. I see colors and I carry ASCII. I see words. I don't know what's going on. But you know, everyone has their forte. Everyone has their strengths and stuff. And I remember one time, tangent, back in the day when I was on the IBM PC Junior. Yeah, y'all know that's a long time ago. And I was in DOS, and I was doing I knew basic. Put it that way. That's how basic my basic skills were. And I did a little animation where it was like a little ASCII character, and basically the camera scrolled down. This is all ASCII art. It scrolled down, and I actually, that was the first time I had made music on that computer by just doing it in DOS, in BASIC. And it was, I think it was like a gauntlet type of thing, and I tried to like emulate the song and stuff, and it was bleeps and bloops. It was really bad. It was like the worst bleeps and bloops you ever heard. It's worse than that. That's how bad it was. And so I did that. I wish I could have saved that just to look at it, but that, you know, that was back in the day, floppy disks and all that stuff. Not the little floppy disk, the hard one, the big old 8-inch, 6-inch. I forget how big they are, but the floppies. Anyway, tangent over. I guess I am a dev coder. No, I'm not. But I told her I'm gonna download Godot, whatever it's called, and I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna mess around with it because, you know, Unreal is a little too unwieldy for me. Because I'm like, I understand UI. I understand Blender better than I understand Unreal. And I'm like, how's that work? Because Unreal is supposed to be super easy friendly. And I did some stuff. I like put some textures on some mountains, and I did some sculpting and some landscaping and stuff. I was like, oh, okay, that's how it works. But I didn't do any character stuff. I didn't import any models and stuff. So, you know, I didn't get too deep. And I was like, it wasn't you know what it felt like? It felt like when I first started messing with Blender before the 2.8 update. Blender was a hot mess. It was like, it was a different language. And then when they put that update out, it was like, boom. I was like, I understand it now. Thank you, Blender, thank you. I mean, I don't understand all of it, but I get the gist of, I can do basic stuff. Like all the titles that you see in the little animation in the beginning and the end, that's all done in Blender. Easy stuff, and they're old. I know I need to update my stuff, but But I mean, the point is, Unreal is a little unreal for me. So I'm gonna mess with the GODOT, and we'll see what we can do. I did want to do some type of music video kind of implementation with like Unreal, but I may be able to do the same with GODOT. Who knows? But anyway, that's a tangent too. Speaking of videos, I'm gonna work on that a little bit some more. I'm still on track to get it done before the end of the month, so that's cool. But you know, I know it's a little late. I'm a dummy, but I'm gonna get it done. That's my word. I say I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna abandon it. I'm gonna do it. The song is written, so it's just a few little things. It's just, you know, trying to get the time to do it. Busy. But I appreciate you guys listening to my super tangent episode, super tangent video today, because we're not talking about consoles and video games directly, but we are talking about dev stuff and engines, and John Riccitiello is a crazy person. No, he's not crazy, he's just one of those. He's one of those Jim Ryan types who just want to make that money and don't care what the repercussions are or whatever. It's like, oh, it's business. I'm like, that's not good business, because you see what's going on. You see the backlash. And they tried to backtrack. They're like, oh no, it's not about the, you know, you could do it on the same machine many times, but if you have different copies on different machines, like if you have one on PC and then one on Xbox and then one on PS5 and then one on the Switch, then those are all different charges. And I'm like, so that throws away the Play Anywhere thing for Xbox. Well, those games obviously won't be Play Anywhere. I think Play Anywhere is mainly just first party stuff. Maybe. Actually, that's not true. But yeah, no Unity game will be a Play Anywhere game because of that. But yeah, it's a bad look. And I mean, I got no skin in the game as far as Unity goes. I don't care either way if they go and fold tomorrow. That's fine, because you make stupid moves like this, you kind of deserve to not be in business. Not be in business. Grammar. You deserve not to be in business. And I told the fellas, I was like, yo, I mean, you know, maybe we should make our own engine. I just told them, you ever consider coding engine from scratch? I know it's hard, to say the least, but yeah. So, I mean, actually, that's one of the points, is that them making this mistake and everybody migrating away from Unity is opening the door for anyone else to come in with, call it infinite engine, and you could just, you know, make a new engine that's kind of like Unity, that's exactly like Unity, but it's not, because they made their own. They just made it better version of Unity, and people will go there. I mean, that's what Godot is going to be. Basically, Godot is going to be the replacement for Unity moving forward, for, you know, until someone else could come up with something better. That's what's going to happen. So, I mean, that's what we're doing, and that's what a lot of other devs are doing. So, I mean, it was a little kind of a what the hell's going on, but, you know, at the same time, I think it's good, because it weeds out these corporations that are a little greedy, a little too greedy for their own goods. And you know, I'm glad that some devs can make the move. I hope most devs can, you know. But anyway, appreciate y'all. Subscribe, hit the subscribe. I'm getting a little bit, slowly but surely getting there, getting to 400. I guess when I drop my song, then maybe I'll get a bump, because then I won't be a liar. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. Let me know in the comments what you think about Riccitiello, John Riccitiello, the evilest, the almost evil. It's like the evil CEO club. Him and Jim Ryan, John and Jim, and whoever else is in there. We'll get a Legion of Doom of CEOs together. There's 2 members already, so we'll see who's Elon Musk could go in there too, I guess, right? Anyway, I appreciate y'all, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Till the wait.